had a real tough year this past year. My wife and I are struggling through a transition, and we're trying to understand what can I do next. So about a year ago, my wife let me know that she no longer wanted to attend the church that we've been going to for the entirety of our marriage.
How long is that?
12 years. We've been going to this.
Go ahead.
Oh yeah. So we've been going to this church, heavily involved. It's been a bedrock of our lives and our marriage and our kids. And then she said, that's no longer something she wanted to do. And it took a minute for me to kind of accept that. And really now where I'm struggling is trying to, I'm wrestling with the fact that she has, such a negative viewpoint of a former church of ours, and is still very much involved in seeking out others who kind of share in that negative viewpoint. And I can't help but think that she might some way look down on me because I haven't seen the same viewpoint that she has, or it isn't a I just feel like she might share those same feelings towards me, right? That she has of this former church of ours that is a negative experience for her.
How is she articulated, or what is she articulating specifically about why she left that church, why she wants to disassociate herself from it?
I think a lot of it came from what she viewed as how people were treated. I didn't see the same things that she saw, but there was a very conservative viewpoint. And
so were these women? Were these
yes,
gay and lesbian folks? Were these children? Were these
Yeah, I think she had a really hard time with what she perceived how women were treated.
Okay.
I can sympathize with that, but I didn't see the same thing. I'm obviously not a woman, so I didn't see those things. I didn't experience those things, but I didn't, I didn't see her point of view. And now I struggle with the fact that because I didn't come with her or see the same things that she saw, she might look down on me for that.
So I'm going to change the language here. So
sure.
The words coming out of my mouth are going to be harsh.
Okay.
I want you to know I'm sitting right here with you. Okay. I'm using your experience to speak to a broader audience listening. Is that cool?
Yeah. Do it.
Okay. So I want you to stop referring to your wife's lived experience as her quote unquote point of view.
Mm-hmm.
A point of view is an opinion on what I would call a benign topic, or it could be a malignant topic. That's probably the wrong word there, but I have a point of view on whether my old beat up Tundra is a good truck. And
sure.
Somebody else may have a point of view that truck is not good. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Your wife has a lived experience. And what I have learned over the years is my opinion over what another person is experiencing inside their body and in their chest doesn't matter. What matters is that when somebody says, here is how I experience this thing, that I pull up a seat and say, tell me more. Or I'm sorry that it hurts like this.
Mm-hmm.
And as you said it well, I don't have your same experience. A good example is, I don't think I'm a loud, tall, tattooed up, 6'2" male that trained with professional fight team for several years.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think twice about walking through a parking garage. My wife can't breathe, right? And so if when she tells me, when she gets in the car and exhales, I'm like, what are you doing? Well, she wouldn't do it with me, but if she gets in the car and says, hey, I just want to tell you, I just got in the car after, I would be like, what are you talking about? There's no crimes in this. Like, I would start going at her as though it was her viewpoint, as though I'm arguing about the shocks on my truck. It's a good truck. It's got 200,000 miles, but it's a good engine. And that I would be approaching it there instead of listening and saying, hey, that walk from here to there, I am a 115-pound, 5'4" female. Anybody, a middle schooler could take me down, right? Like there's just a different lived experience. And so it's pulling up a seat and saying, I don't have that lived experience. I would love to hear more. That's number one, okay? Now, for those people who are banging on the dashboard of their car or getting mad at me about to skip this call, I want to call out. You can have a lived experience and choose to pull yourself out of that lived experience, but when you choose to seek out other people and baste in it, just sit in it like it's a hot tub and gossip about it and write about it and scream about it, not as though we're trying to change the lived experience, but as though our identity is now in not solving a problem, not helping the women who are there, but just bleh, then that's unhelpful too. Right? And so I think it's right to say, hey, honey, I blew this. You came to me a year ago and said this is what you were feeling inside your own chest, and I tried to come at you with a graph and a spreadsheet. I'm sorry. That's not what you were saying. You were saying you were going to a church that for a decade and a half, you didn't feel heard, you didn't feel seen, you felt used, whatever words she's used, right? And those are just words I've heard of women in certain churches. I didn't hear you. I'd love to hear your experience. That's number one, okay? And you will never be able to feel her lived experience because many churches were made for you and me. They weren't made for our wives, right? In fact, the opposite. Sure. So we have that conversation, right? The second one is then her choosing to go back and drink poison, hoping somebody else dies, is of no value to your home. And so that's a thing that she can opt out of, right?
Yeah.
Unless she wants to start like a recovery, like if she wants to put some action into the world to make the world a better place, great. If she wants to be a part of protests in front of the church, great. But just sitting around gossiping and complaining about it is in and of itself its own problem. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Tell me about the story you've created that now she thinks you are one of those guys. Is that true, or is that just a story you're telling yourself?
It's very likely a story I'm just telling myself.
Okay. Have you asked her?
Yes.
What'd she say?
That no, she doesn't think that. But yeah, I guess it's a story I'm telling myself. I can't rational, and this is maybe a problem of my own, but I can't rationalize the thought process of having all of this negativity towards something, this church that I'm a part of necessarily, and how could she not share that towards me? But as you said, she has said she doesn't. But I can't get over that story that I'm telling myself, that she's linking that with me as well.
Gotcha. So here's how I'd approach this in my house. And by the way, my wife went to church for years without me. I didn't believe in the whole thing. I blew the whole thing off.
Yeah.
And then when we had kids, when Hank came along, my son came along, I wasn't fully there yet. I wasn't all the way back. And I went because I didn't want to be that dad who stayed at home while his wife and their kid went to church. So I just went. And that ended up being my path back, which was good. Mm-hmm. There's been seasons when I went to a different church because sometimes I don't want to be, I'm on a Sunday morning and I don't have the stomach for someone just to get up there and yell at me or lecture me. Mm-hmm. And I have found amazing peace walking into an ornate Catholic church and just listening to the singing and the chanting and the exhale and the ritual of it. And I'm not Catholic, right? And there's been other times when fill in the blank, I need a group of guys and we all go sit in the woods and we sit around a campfire. Like, so whatever the thing is, all that to say is this: a really important exercise when it comes to faith and theology and spirituality and all those things, whatever words you want to use there, is for married couples to sit down and have the values and beliefs conversation. You ever heard me talk about this?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So sitting down and saying, okay, as for us and our household, We believe in a higher power. We believe in God. We believe in Jesus. We believe in like whatever you want to say. As for us, this is where we are putting an anchor in. And then when it comes to how that is lived out, I want my wife to have different beliefs than me. It makes things less convenient, but I don't want to have a life at the end I don't want to die and be like, man, my life was really convenient. I want to have a life where I felt like I was sharpened as sharp as I could be. And that comes from sitting with people who have different thoughts and ideas and whatever. And somebody's always going to have to exhale when they walk into a church. I don't like the band. I don't like the singer. I don't like the preacher. I don't like the Sunday school. Like, that's just life, right?
Yeah.
And you go and you make that part of your life. So having that conversation can be really instructive.
Yeah, no, and I'll say I've been wanting to have that conversation. Quite honestly, I've been scared to up until now, just because every conversation around those sorts of topics has been a struggle for us.
Where's that? Tell me about the struggle.
I think I have just viewed the conversations as, because I see her in this seeking the poison, as you were alluding to. Every conversation has been a negative conversation of, and maybe that's the problem. Maybe that's what I need to do, is really approach it as, where do we have common ground? And that's one thing we haven't done yet.
Or choose this frame, okay? So if you, is there any chance y'all going to get divorced?
No, I mean, we really don't want to. We've been saying that from the beginning, that no, that's not an avenue we want to try.
Okay, so
let's make this work.
Let's assume that we're making this thing work. There's no there's no exit ramp. There's no off ramp. Okay.
Yes.
So if you were to take her out and say, I want to take you out to a long breakfast tomorrow morning.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, okay. And you sat down and you said, I blew it. What are you talking about? I blew it. What? And I don't know how often you say, I'm sorry, or I was wrong. Some men say it a lot. Some men never say it. So you may blow her mind just saying that, or that may be something she hears regularly. But if you say, you came to me 10 years ago, you came to me 5 years ago, you came to me 2 years ago, and you were telling me about a lived experience as a woman, and I came at you with a Bible verse and a chart and I didn't listen to you. And I blew it. I'm sorry. Once she picks her jaw off the floor, if you then followed up with, I came at you with judgment on your ideas, on your thoughts, etc., and I just want to be curious. Would you honor me by just letting me sit here and listen to your lived experience? And you may have heard all this before, but her spirit might be one of not trying to convince you, but it might be one of talking with you. Not at, but with. And then when you have this conversation, it might be 10 minutes, it might be 2 hours. If you ask yourself curious questions, ask her curious questions. Wow, so tell me about that. Like, how does that feel? Like, when this happened, like, what was going through your mind? You must have felt so lonely with me sitting there just going, yeah. Like, have that conversation. Like, and this is the old, do your best to walk a mile in her shoes. And at the end of the conversation, say, I've got something that's weighing on me. Is it okay? Is this a good time for me to bring it up? Sure, yeah. I recognize that I didn't hear you in your lived experience. And yet, I feel like this bad experience, you've left it, but you took pictures of it. Not pictures, like photographs, but you took pictures of it, like water, and you put it in our fridge, and you just drink it every morning.
Yeah.
Could we come to an agreement that this season of our life is over, and I'm going to do a better job of listening to your lived experiences, and I want us both to agree to stop drinking poison, hoping somebody else changes their behavior?
Yeah.
And you get the whole tenor of that thing shifts. And that's not mean you may not agree with the way she's interpreting scriptures. You may not agree with when she says, here's my experience. You may be like, I don't get that at all. It's a parking garage. Only in horror movies, there's somebody with a hat. It doesn't matter. Because I'm not 5'4", right?
Yeah.
Like I'll never know that experience. But what I can say is, as for us, do we still both believe in God? Yes. Do we still both believe in the practice of getting up most of the time and going to a third place, to church, to say hi to other hurting people and say us too, right? Do we still believe in that? Cool. Then let's figure out what box we want to walk into. And let's do that one together. And then you, brother, are going to have to grieve, man. You had a decade and a half with the church.
Mm-hmm.
And you may find that it was really formative for you. It was not formative for her.
Sure.
And that's just, the whole thing is just humbling, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, hope for you all is that y'all spend some time in tears together and that you are honest about, I'm going to start trying to hear for your lived experience. I'm going to trust you because I'm not in your skin. I'm not in your body. I trust your lived experience. And that if you need my help or you want my opinion on something, you'll ask me. And that you know that I'm never going to give up on you. I'm never going to give up on this marriage. So I'm here. I'm here. I'd love to hear what happens, man. Let us know.